Have you ever felt like the more you learn, the less certain you become? It's a weird feeling, right? It seems like learning more should make us more confident, more informed. But sometimes, it feels like it just makes the world more complicated. Maybe you've gone down a YouTube rabbit hole, or maybe you've started reading an article, only to find yourself opening 10 more. Before you know it, you've consumed hours of content, but instead of feeling smarter, you're left thinking, wait, do I know anything about this topic at all? That feeling of uncertainty is actually a well-known psychological phenomenon. It's something called the Dunning Kruger effect. It's a cognitive bias that explains why people who know very little about a subject often think they know a lot, while people who actually start to learn more become less confident in their knowledge. The idea is that when we have just a little bit of information, we tend to overestimate how much we know. You might have seen this with topics like politics or health, where people with surface-level knowledge speak with total confidence. But here's the kicker. As soon as we start learning more, our confidence plummets. That's because we realize just how complex the topic really is. And that's why learning can feel like you're standing on the edge of a cliff, because the more you know, the more you see how much you don't know. Suddenly, the world isn't so black and white anymore, and it gets a little scary. So what's happening here? Is learning making us more ignorant? Or is there something else going on? Okay, so let's dig into what's actually going on in our brains when we learn more but feel less certain. It boils down to the difference between two types of ignorance: simple ignorance and complex ignorance. Simple ignorance is basically when you don't know something, but it's not even on your radar. For example, if someone's never heard of quantum mechanics, they're not stressing about it, they're just unaware. That's simple ignorance. You don't know what you don't know. But then, there's complex ignorance. This is when you know just enough to realize how much you don't understand. Let's use quantum mechanics again. When you first hear about it, maybe you pick up on the idea that particles can be in two places at once, and that's fascinating. But then you start reading more and suddenly you're lost in a world of uncertainty. Now you realize that quantum mechanics doesn't just have a few fun facts. It's this giant, intricate puzzle that nobody fully understands. And that is where we get stuck. Our brains love certainty. It feels good to know things, to have answers. But when we hit complex ignorance, we start to see all the gray areas, the stuff that doesn't have easy answers. Our confidence drops and we can feel totally overwhelmed. Here's a really important point though. This is actually a good thing. You might be thinking, how is feeling overwhelmed a good thing? Well, it means you're moving past surface-level thinking. You're diving deeper, seeing the bigger picture, and realizing that real knowledge isn't about having quick answers. It's about being able to live with uncertainty. And this is where some people get stuck. They stop at that overwhelmed stage. But here's the key. The deeper you go into a subject, the more you start to ask better questions. You become curious rather than desperate for quick answers. And that, my friends, is what leads to true wisdom. So, if learning more initially makes us less confident, does that mean we're doomed to just feel unsure about everything forever? The short answer is no, but it's more complicated than just saying the more you learn, the more confident you become. It's not about gaining certainty, it's about gaining comfort with uncertainty. Here's the thing. As you gain more knowledge, it's not that you'll suddenly feel like you know everything. Instead, you'll start to appreciate just how much complexity exists in the world. Think about scientists, people like Einstein or Marie Curie. They didn't become geniuses because they had all the answers. They became geniuses because they were comfortable asking the right questions. They weren't afraid to admit, I don't know. And that's a powerful mindset. Rather than trying to box the world into neat little categories, they embraced the complexity. So, the more you learn, the more comfortable you become with the fact that there's always more to learn. In other words, the discomfort you feel when you're learning more, it's not a sign that you're getting more confused. It's a sign that you're getting closer to a deeper, more critical understanding. It's a sign that you're on the right path. Before we dive deeper, if this video is making you think differently about knowledge and learning, go ahead and hit that like button. It really helps the channel grow and reach more curious minds. And if you're into exploring these big, mind-bending questions, Go ahead and subscribe, and don't forget to tap that notification bell so you don't miss out on any future episodes. So does knowing more reduce ignorance? In a way, yes, but it doesn't give us simple answers tied up in a bow. It gives us something even better. The realization that the world is beautifully complex and that there's always more to learn. Here's the thing. Real knowledge isn't about having all the facts. It's about understanding that there's always going to be uncertainty. It's about being open to new ideas, new perspectives, and being willing to say, I don't know, when necessary. Next time you feel overwhelmed by a new subject, instead of thinking I'm lost, try shifting your perspective. See it as an opportunity. You're not getting more confused. You're actually moving from surface-level ignorance into a deeper, more critical form of understanding. The discomfort that comes with learning more is your brain stretching beyond its comfort zone. And that's something to be proud of. You're not supposed to know everything right away. That's the beauty of learning. So whether it's science, philosophy, or even just a random Wikipedia binge, remember, confusion is a sign of growth. It means you're pushing beyond what you thought you knew and diving into the complexity of the world. And that's where real wisdom lives. What do you think? Has learning ever made you feel more uncertain, or maybe more curious? Let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear your stories. And if this video got you thinking in a new way, be sure to check out some of our other episodes where we tackle even more big questions about life, science, and everything in between. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.